Cincinnati Bengals, easiest pick on the board, pick LSU quarterback Joe Burrow. He had a great year. He's a nice, to me, B-plus prospect. They need a quarterback. They have a need. He's there. He's from Ohio. He went to Athens High School in the Plains. So Joe Burrow goes to the Bengals. Number 2. The Redskins, second easiest take on the board, although I do believe Washington would have discussions about trading this. Chase Young, all-time leader at Ohio State in sacks for a single season. Remarkable considering the Bosa boys went there. It's interesting. Washington is actually pretty good up front defensively. Top third in the NFL in sacks. I think Ron Rivera could engineer even more with his schemes. But Chase Young is a every 5-year pass rush talent. They get him. Number 3. Okay, we got to trade. The Chargers and Detroit Lions flop picks. The Chargers move up to 3, the Lions back to 6, and the Lions get a corner from the Chargers and 2 draft picks to move up, and the Chargers take Justin Herbert. Last 4 NFL drafts, the 14 first-round quarterbacks, 10 people moved up to get him. I think the Chargers are sending out messages they want him without saying it. The 4 biggest games for Herbert last year: Auburn, Wisconsin, Utah, and Washington. He played great, or at least very well in all 4, and came 1 play away from going 4-0. He's NFL ready. He'll sit for a year and then be the Chargers franchise quarterback. Number 4. The New York Giants take Clemson stud Isaiah Simmons. Listen, they have 2 really good defensive tackles. They need playmakers. They gave up over 28 points a game defensively in a division with the offensively gifted Cowboys and Carson Wentz and the Eagles. They got to make stops. They are not winning games in this division, regardless of how good Daniel Jones is, until they make stops, and Simmons can solve a lot of their issues. Number 5, Dolphins. They take Tua. 199 career efficiency passer rating in college football, best of all time. This organization passed on Drew Brees years ago, who had some injuries. They've regretted it since. Tua is not a perfect candidate because of the medical issues. He can get healthy behind Ryan Fitzpatrick. The Dolphins will also, with 14 draft picks, build an offensive line, let it mature for a year, and bake before Tua plays. Number 6. This is the Lions now, who got a corner and a draft pick or 2 from the Chargers. They take Derek Brown. He's the best interior defensive lineman in the draft. They lost a couple of defensive tackles in free agency. They also allowed 400 yards a game, second worst in the NFL. So, Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn, they get draft picks from the Chargers, a starting corner from the Chargers, and now get the best interior defensive lineman in the draft. Really good start for the Lions in this year's draft. Number 7. The Carolina Panthers take Ohio State corner Jeff Okudah. The Lions liked him but couldn't pass up the trade to get a corner and a top defensive lineman. The Panthers allowed 29 points a game last year, second worst in the NFL, also lost their best corner to free agency, James Bradbury. So Okudah drops a couple of spots. Lions wanted him, but had to bite at what the Chargers offered to get Herbert. They moved down. The Panthers are the beneficiary, getting the best corner from a University of Ohio State that's a factory for corners. Number 8. The Arizona Cardinals take Iowa offensive tackle Tristan Wirfs. Listen, Kyler Murray got sacked 48 times. Now just consider that. That is arguably the second or third most mobile quarterback in the league, got sacked 48 times. They have to protect their asset. They've also got DeAndre Hopkins. They went out and got a Kenyon Drake, so they've got him weapons. They've got their coach. They got their quarterback. Now they have to protect him. They get Tristan Wirfs. Number 9. The Jags take the best receiver easily in this draft, Jerry Jeudy. Listen, they're tanking to get a quarterback next year. When they get Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields, they're going to hand him the best young wide receiver talent in 2 or 3 drafts in Jerry Jeudy. He is spectacular. This team has a million things they have to worry about, but I don't think there's going to be a wide receiver as good last year, this year, or next year as Jeudy, and the Jags get him. The Cleveland Browns at number 10. What did they do in the offseason? They have terrible tackles. They went and got a right tackle, Jack Conklin in free agency. Nice player. They need a left tackle. They'll get Mekhi Becton. Baker was sacked 40 times last year. The interior of their O-line's not bad. They were really below average at tackle, so they get a free agency right tackle. They get a starting left tackle. I think this is a really obvious pick. Number 11, the New York Jets. Okay, 52 sacks last year. They've already gone out in free agency and found a right tackle, Noah Fant, and a center, Connor McGovern. They will go and draft Jedrick Wills, an underrated tackle for Bama. I think he's as good as any of the tackles. They'll put him out to the left side. So now they have rebuilt their offensive line for Sam Darnold. Second round, they'll get a corner. Third round, they have 2 picks. They'll get a receiver and another interior offensive lineman or a linebacker. The Jets take Jedrick Wills. And finally, 12, the Raiders take C.J. Henderson, the fastest corner. Raiders love speed. Listen, they nailed their draft last year, and they went with a lot of offensive players, tight end, receiver, running back. This year, they've got to solve defense. You're in a division with Patrick Mahomes. You got to get corners, and you got to get edge rushers, and they feel they got the latter last draft. This year, they go for a gator and get a corner. All right, there's my mock draft. Much fun doing